Hey there manga fans, today I'm talking about High School DXD. Warning in advance, lots of pictures of panties and naked manga girls ahead. Hey everyone, I'm Justice R. Stone. Today I am talking about Volume 1 of High School DXD. It is a supernatural manga that has quite a bit of Ecchi components. Now, if you're not familiar with the term Ecchi, it's Japanese for perverted. Typically in the North American lexicon, if we're talking Ecchi, it means that it's fairly benign. It's harmless. It's a lot of nudity or shots of girls with their skirts up, stuff like that, but not all-out pornographic. That would be what people usually refer to as hentai. The story of High School DXD involves main character Issei Hyoda. Now, he's a boy who went to a specific high school because it used to be an all-girls academy, and he figured that with the ratio of girls to boys, he would have a way better chance of finding himself a girlfriend. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened for him. Then one day, he's approached by this very cute girl that says her name is Yuma, and she says she's been watching him from afar, and she really wants to go out with him. They have a wonderful first date together and end up in a park in the evening, and she asks Issei, "Would you die for me?" She reveals herself to be a fallen angel and says that Issei contains something called a sacred gear that is a danger to the fallen angels, and so she kills him. As Issei dies, he thinks about his senpai, his older classmate named Rias Grimmery. And he thinks, if I was to die, at least it would be nice if I could die in the arms of such a beautiful girl. His thoughts summon her because she turns out to be a devil. And she saves Issei's life, making him a devil as well, and her servant. The story of High School DXD basically revolves around Issei getting used to his role as servant and devil, demon, depends on the translation you're reading or viewing. Now, this first manga is not really setting up something in terms of a huge arc, at least that's not apparent in this first volume. Most of it is really just building up the world and setting up, of course, Issei's role and who he is and why he's been changed. Surprisingly enough in this manga, it actually has a decent storyline. And I say surprising because a lot of these books that are sort of ecchi and have a harem of girls all around one particular male character, almost, well, I wouldn't say always, but more often than not, don't have a lot of story backing it up. The story elements are almost always just to serve the fact that girls take their clothes off. In High School DXD, to be honest, this one could have worked completely without the ecchi. There's enough decent story elements and enough world building here that the naked breasts and everything aren't even really necessary, which is fantastic. The world itself is pretty complicated. We find out that there's 3 warring factions. The devils or demons, who are the natural inhabitants of the underworld or hell. The angels, who serve God, and then we have the third, which are the fallen angels, which are the angels that were cast out of heaven. Now, all 3 of these groups are basically fighting each other for supremacy, although at this point, they've kind of fallen into the point of a Cold War. The character of Issei is a very atypical, perverted teenage boy character. He is perverted, he has lots of nosebleeds and everything when he sees naked girls, he obsesses over breasts and everything else, but he still has a heart of gold and is a good, decent guy when it counts. So not a lot surprising in terms of his character development. What I did enjoy was that we're starting to see bits of character development in the female characters, who often, again, are underserved, particularly in the harem-type manga or particularly anime. Now, there is a large cast right out of the gate, so I wouldn't say in this first volume we get to see as much of the character moments and character growth as what is potential, but apparently this story has 18 light novel volumes. There are currently 6 collected manga volumes. There is an anime season of 12 episodes, then another 6 OVAs, and then there's now a second anime season High School DXD New, really original title, which apparently is now airing. So this has got a lot of legs underneath it. And this whole question of sacred gears and what they enable people to do and what their purpose is and why does Issei have one, I'm guessing, hoping that this kind of thing gets answered throughout the manga or the anime or the light volumes, whichever we have access to the most. So all in all, High School DxD, this first volume, I was actually kind of surprised by it. I figured there was going to be a lot of fan service, but I wasn't really expecting for there to be as deep a story and as many moving parts as there were in this particular volume. There was a lot of setup and a lot of different places that this story could go, which really impressed me. I've actually started watching the anime version, and I intend to read some more of the manga as well. So that's my review of High School DxD, the manga, Volume 1. It's a pretty good manga if you can get past the ecchi elements. If that doesn't bother you, it's actually really worth a read. Like I said, a lot of the story components could work in a really straight-laced horror type manga. So I almost wish I could see what that version would have been. But nonetheless, this one's a lot of fun. Even the little bit of playfulness with the ecchi kind of breaks up the more serious, darker moments, because there are some darker moments. So all in all, High School DxD, pretty cool, bit of fun. If you're comfortable with the ecchi, then I say pick it up and check it out. Have you read the manga? Have you watched the anime? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, click on subscribe so you can check out my other manga reviews, as well as my other videos. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.